Hi, this is Christian Cantrell with Watch Report, and today I want to show you the Casio Pathfinder PAW1300. I'm not going to do a super comprehensive review of this watch, primarily because I already did a pretty detailed video review of this watch's big brother, which is the PAW1200, a slightly older model. What I pretty much want to do is just give you a quick rundown of the features, and I want to talk about the size of this watch, which is sort of what makes it attractive to me. First of all, it's solar powered, of course, and it's multi-band atomic, which means that it can calibrate with time signals in Germany, England, Fort Collins, Colorado, and the 2 atomic transmitters in Japan. So pretty much wherever there's an atomic clock which transmits a signal in the world, this watch can calibrate, which is very cool. Let's do a quick tour of the dial. It's pretty standard Pathfinder dial. You have your time in the middle, nice big digits, which I really like, and your seconds underneath. You have your date up top here, and the date can be displayed in various ways, which I'll show you in a second. You have the solar cell around the perimeter of the dial, which you can't even see. It's very inconspicuous, which is really nice. In the upper left-hand corner here we have a signal indicator, so when the watch is receiving a time signal, that actually indicates how strong the signal is. When it's not receiving a signal, it lets you know whether it was successful the last time it attempted to receive a signal. And around, let's see, you have a ring, sort of an LCD ring right around the perimeter here, which is showing you the seconds, which is kind of neat. And actually, let me go ahead and show you the different date formats. So we have the year, the month, and the day here, or the date, I should say. Here we have the barometric pressure, sort of a graph, history graph with the day. I'm sorry, the date. Here we have the day and the date, Tuesday the 9th. And I like to keep it in this mode, which is, again, the year, the month, and the date. You can adjust it by hitting this little button down here. So that's another thing to take a look at this watch, is it has a lot of buttons. Okay, we have a mode button here. We have 3 buttons on the right hand side of the case here, and we have 2 buttons down here, where often on Casio watches you only see 1 button. We have 2 down here. Because it's a complicated watch, it has a lot of controls. Let's take a look through the modes. This is of course time mode. The first mode we see here is a mode that allows you to record ascents and descents. We have world time mode. I'm working with someone in London right now, so I keep it on London so I can see what time it is there quickly and easily. We have a stopwatch, of course. We have a timer, countdown timer. We have alarms 1 through 5. And of course we have the hourly time signal. And we have the sort of reception indicator, which lets you know the last time the watch calibrated. So the last time it calibrated successfully was 8:21 on October 9th, which was this morning. Okay, so that's a rundown of the modes. And then of course the features of this watch are mostly the fact that it's a triple sensor outdoor hiking watch. So you have compass, altimeter, barometer, and thermometer. So I'll show you the compass first. Now this one's a little bit different. The PAW1300 is a little different than the 12. The compass, the direction is shown in the outer LCD ring here, rather than the sort of LCD overlay that the 1200 used. And that's one of the things that allows it to be a little bit smaller. We have the barometric history up here. And we have the barometric pressure shown here in inches of mercury. You can also do millibars or hectopascals. And then we have the temperature here, 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, that can be Celsius too. The watch is a little bit warm because I've been holding it for a couple minutes and holding it under this lamp. And of course, we have the altimeter, which is showing 500 feet. This can be set to meters as well. Of course, this should be calibrated before any type of ascent or descent. This isn't accurate at the time. It's a barometric altimeter, which means that it estimates your altitude based on your the barometric pressure, which means it needs to be calibrated right before you actually use it. So that's pretty much all the features of this watch. It also has a backlight here. Let me turn my lamp off here and see if I can show you the backlight. So pretty nice backlight. Lights up the whole dial nicely. But what I really wanted to show you about this watch is the size. So all that functionality in what turns out to be a very slender case. Very, very, very small compared to the previous model, the 1200. Much more wearable. Let me put it on my wrist and show you how low the profile actually is here. So the case is still rather large, but it sits very, very low, and it actually sits quite nicely on my wrist. It's very lightweight. Let me show you next to a, this is next to one of my favorite G-Shocks. Now, this isn't an entirely fair comparison because G-Shocks are, you know, they're designed to be, they're supposed to be big watches. I mean, they're supposed to be big and bulky and chunky, and you know, they're supposed to get people's attention, but it gives you some idea of how slender and how slim the profile is of this Pathfinder. Here's a little bit, probably a little bit more fair of a comparison. This is the Tissot T-Touch here, which has a lot of the same functionality. And you can see that the Casio, while the case is actually larger in diameter, the profile's a little bit lower. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. For a more detailed review, go to my website, watchreport.com. Thanks for watching.